this is Venkatesh Pannam, the co-founder of Edforum. Many students and parents have a question. When there are so many career websites, what is the need for another website? Or in what way Edforum is different from other websites? Edforum is a social platform where it provides all the information related to students' careers. Not only that, through a lot of tools, a student can get the personal information. For example, they can post all the doubts in Edforum, and those questions will be answered by experts in their fields. They can read articles related to their careers, related to their courses, and lot of different articles can be found in these Ed blogs. And another important tool is the Advice, where they can get lot of information related to different career options. So they can browse all the information here, and they can get a lot of information about various careers. And another important one is Ed Alerts, where we provide all the brief information about various exams, and all the notifications will be posted here on a regular basis. This website is different from most of the career websites. That is, this provides complete information, personalized information to the students based on their interests and based on their chosen career options. So this, whatever the information that they get, is completely personalized. This you will find nowhere. So, and one important point is, all these services are completely free. Dear students, please register in this website, and you just fill all the details in the profile, and then you can download the app from Google Play Store to get all the personal information related to your career. And lot of discussion will happen through webinars. So in those webinars, students can talk to the speakers, they can ask the questions, and they can clarify all the doubts. So definitely, Edforum is a boon to the students and parents, where you can get answers to all your queries, and definitely this website will help you to take better career decisions. Please register and make use of all the services at Edforum. Thank you.
Hello, hi, this is Venkatesh Pannam, co-founder of Raghu. In this video, I'm going to explain briefly what is the advantage of registering on this website. First, you have to click the sign up button. There you need to fill up all the details like name, you can select the grade, you have to fill your mobile number, email address, password, you can set your password, all that. Once you register here, after registration, you can go to sign in button. In this sign in, you have to enter your email address, registered email address and your password. Then you just click login button. Once you log in, you will be directed to this My Profile page, where you need to fill up some more details in order to get the personalized experience on this website. All the notifications that you get on your mobile app will be based on this profile. Even if you don't fill these points on this profile, still you can see all the content in the website, and nothing that can stop you. But the advantage of filling the profile is data will be personalized. All the content you can see depends on this profile that you fill. Here you can select the languages in which you want to see the content. You can choose either English or Telugu. You can choose both. Then you need to type the institute where you are studying, the board, and the class you are in, and the stream you are currently pursuing, and the interested. Based on your stream, here for example, when I click MPC, I got lot of streams. So I got engineering entrance exams. I can choose multiple. I'm interested in engineering, I'm interested in engineering entrance exam. So only. Then based on these interest, you have some career options. So I just want to weather technology, mathematics and computing. You can select a number of areas related to, or I can say aeronautical engineering. So you can select all the career options related to your interest. Then simply update your profile. So now onwards, whatever you see, the content will be based on your interests. Let's see how it affects your Edbytes. In Edbytes, if you look at, since you have chosen MPC, all the results will be based on MPC only. JEE means exam, get the notifications, all that will be based on MPC only. Board exams, JEE Advanced, MSET, AVPY, all this content is relevant to MPC 3. Suppose in profile, if a student select BPC, let's see how it is going to change. Now I'll select BPC in the place of MPC. Then automatically interests will changes. So now I'm interested in, let's say, medicine. So I need to select some of the branches. So I want to do MBBS, or I can select some BSMS. Like that I can select whatever the options I want to choose. Just update. Now let's go to the same Edbytes. Now see here, once you enter those BPC I've entered in profile. So now look at this content I've changed. Here we got optometry, NEET exam. Now every content that you see in Edbytes is based on your personal interests. So when I'm preparing for MPC, I'll get all the content related MPC. When I'm preparing for BPC, I'll get all the content for BPC. So in this way, every tool that you're going to witness, the data will be based on your personal interest. So this site completely works on the personalization. If you complete the file, then you can experience and you can see all the data related to your career.
What should I choose after my 10th? They say PCM has more scope than PCB. Shall I go for it?
I like biology a lot. What if I couldn't make it in NEET after 12th? Could I able to face the pressure?
I want to be an IITian or NITian in future and I need good coaching for it. Where do I take my admission in?
Now that my MSET rank is decent enough, so which colleges should I choose for admissions in Vizag?
Do I really want to do engineering, or am I just going with the flow? Well, I've always wanted to prepare for civil exams. So what should I do now?
Is CSE really worth all the hype? What about ACE and JEE? Should I do much research about it or stick to CSE? What if I don't get a job after taking up other branches? Questions like these have been haunting us for the past 2 years now. We never had a clarity as to what to choose or where to go. There always has been a doubt lurking in the corner of our minds.
But after using a platform like Edforum, we have been able to gain some clarity regarding our decisions and choices. Experienced people in these fields have helped us to be firm with our decisions.
What is Edforum? Edforum is an online platform that clarifies all your doubts regarding your career choices and gives you valuable advice. It has an answer for every question of yours.
Edforum is not only confined to science streams but also other streams like arts, commerce, etc. And since it's an online platform, you can have an access to it anytime.
This platform is run by experienced people like Venkatesh, who has been a lecturer for 2 years in intermediate. He has given the right guidance in intermediate.
Venkatesh' way of approaching the students was unique and fair, and he has always been kind enough in clarifying your doubts.
People like Venkatesh are many on Edforum who are willing to help the students. They'll help you to dream big and achieve big. So without any delay, take up your chance and make the right choice.
Hello everyone, I am Harshita.
And I'm Ramya.
We are here to state a fact that neither engineering nor MBBS are the only fields left after plus 2. We have a wide range of options to choose from and pursue.
And we are the live examples who have chosen different path other than engineering.
We have completed our undergraduate in BSc Computer Science.
And we are currently pursuing our MBA in IBS Hyderabad.
You must be wondering how we have been so sure about our decisions.
After completing our plus 2, even we were stuck in a dilemma about choosing our decisions. Most of our classmates were so sure in choosing engineering. But we wanted to go into a different path, so we chose BSc.
But Edforum gave us the assurance that taking a BSc is no less and we can still make an awesome future.
Right now, we are close to fulfilling our dreams. And if we look back, we don't have any regrets with our decisions. All thanks to Edforum, especially Venkatesh sir in Edforum, for guiding us in the right path.
So once again, let me repeat it for you. Engineering or medical are not the only fields left after 12th. You have a wide range of fields to venture in.
Choose whichever field you are interested in. And if you have any doubt, Edforum is the right place for you to clarify all your doubts. We assure you.
Ram sir, good evening. Ram garu.
Sir, good evening.
Sir, I think it would be better you can adjust your cam. Yeah. Yeah, now it's fine, sir. Thank you. Yeah, good evening, all the parents, students, teachers who are watching this live on YouTube and Facebook. Good evening, all. Today, we are going to start the session immediately. Before we go to the session, let me just share quickly what exactly Edforum is all about and what we did so far. I think you can see the screen, sir, right?
Yes, I can see.
Yeah, thanks. Once again, I welcome you all to this wonderful evening. So, yeah, I welcome you all to this wonderful evening for another interesting webinar on physics by Ram.S, the senior-most faculty in Vizag and very good friend of mine. Let's see what exactly we do at Edforum. Edforum is a social platform which provides personalized information to students, parents to make better decisions. Yes, in another 6 months, definitely, everyone is going to have a personal page on the Edforum So we are converting the entire existing page to a social platform where you can connect with your teachers, friends, and let us lot of activities going to happen another 3 to 4 months. And what exactly we provide? We provide guidance for 8th class to undergraduate students. We have seen this now. What is Edforum is all about? Yeah, who can join Edforum is an important question. Edforum is mainly meant for the 3 people. One is students, parents, and teachers. And soon, universities are also going to have a place in this platform. So why students need Edforum? We all know that the decision that we make earlier will have a lot of impact on career in the coming years. So students, they should take right decisions, especially when they are in intermediate or when they are in 10th class. Why? Because the decision they make at those 2 classes will have a lot of impact in the latter life. So I request every student be part of this wonderful platform where you can explore a lot of career options, information about a lot of courses, colleges, so you can design your own career. And why parents need this information? Why? Because most of the parents are really worried about their kids' career. So if the parents also know what exactly happening, what are the career options available, definitely they also can guide them. And very important, teachers, because most of the students rely on teachers. So teachers also have to update themselves with the latest trends going on. What are the new courses introduced? Because most of the students depends upon the teacher's advices. So I request every teacher who is watching this live, please be part of this wonderful platform where you will see a lot of content related to careers, education, colleges, so that you can guide your students in a proper way. So we have developed these tools for guiding the students, and we call them as tools. In EdBlocks, we provide all the articles related to various career options, courses, personality development. These articles are written by experts in their own domain. Then in Edforum, it's a completely interactive session where students, parents, teachers, anybody can pose the question or even they can answer the questions also. Then we have another tool called EdAlerts, which will send you the information related to all the exams. Then we have this EdBytes, now we call EdNews, which contains now more than 2 lakh articles related to career. So people can get information related to any of the careers they want. Yeah, let's see the Ed stats, where we stand exactly now. So we started our journey the last September 5th. This is what we achieved so far. We have 1,570 plus registered users so far, and we got nearly 62,000 visitors in the last 9 months. Every week, on average, we get more than 2,000 plus visitors. Sometimes it is 3,000 also, it happens. And as I said, we have in this platform, as of today, 206,000 articles related to career and courses. And so far we have conducted, 21 webinars actually. Then we have 520 subscribers for YouTube channel, and we have nearly 18,000 views for the videos. And upcoming webinars on 12th. So we are on 19th, we are going to have another interesting webinar on chemistry by M. Pawan Kumar, is a senior faculty working in Sri Chaitanya NEET Academy. Definitely, this is very useful for all the students who are seriously preparing for NEET exam, and his advices going to help a lot. And interesting thing in this webinar, some of the toppers who scored 180 in chemistry, they are going to join the webinar. So please don't miss this webinar next month. And on 26th of this month, we have another interesting webinar by Bharadwaj, Ila Bharadwaj, who got a seat in Rice University into PhD admission. He is studying at Hyderabad. So that is another interesting webinar we are going to witness in the month ending. So I request everyone please follow, those two webinars. This is what we believe in at Bloom. Don't follow the crowd. Choose a career where you find happiness and no regret. And we strongly believe don't follow the follower. As long as you follow the follower, you never achieve what you want. So believe yourself, just do what you like. Otherwise, you'll have a lot of regrets in life. So I said, don't follow the follower. And to design your career, join Edforum now. As I said, it's completely free. And just click this web link and just put the word edforum.com, or you can download the app from the App Store. And please register so that you can receive all the information related to career. And this website is completely based on artificial intelligence and machine learning. You see what you want. You'll see nothing else. So thank you for watching this. Let me quickly introduce Raghu sir, and we'll continue the webinar. First of all, thank you, Raghu sir, for readily accepting our request. Definitely, your words will inspire the students, and definitely your tips and suggestions will definitely help them in the last moment of the preparation. S. Raghuram Garu completed his MS in Physics from Andhra University. After his MSc from Andhra University, he joined Srinivasa Junior College, one of the best colleges in those days, I heard, in Vijayanagaram. After completion, beginning career in Srinivasa Junior College, Vijayanagaram, he went to Aditya Junior College, Kakinada. I think there he had a wonderful career for a long period of time. He was there in Kakinada in Aditya Junior College. And then he came to Vizag, Narayana, and he worked there for quite a number of years, Narayana. And then he shifted to SN Junior Colleges, where he worked in SN College for quite a number of years and produced very good results. I met him in SN Junior College, and I know he's a very good teacher, and most of the students love him. Then in recent time, he shifted to another very good college in Vizag, that is Sri Vishwa. Now he's working in Sri Vishwa as a senior faculty for physics, and he has a total of 22 years of experience. Thank you, Raghuram sir, once again for accepting and for helping the students to do exam well. Thank you so much, sir. Now your time starts. So I'll give a share option, sir.
Yeah, okay.
I'll make you a co-host so that. Yes, sir. Now you can share your screen.
Yes. Namaste to everyone. Good evening, my dear friends and students. My name is S. Raghuram, and I'm working as a physics faculty. It's been 22 years. I'm in this field, and I've been training the IT JEE students. And let me first congratulate Mr. Venkatesh, who is putting a lot of efforts in developing this website, Edforum, which is very helpful to the students. He took a lot of pains. We know how he started this thing and what pains he has to take. And he has to coordinate several people and come to this stage. Of course, it is a continuous developing program. I hope he will do very best things and in this website. In the near future, it will be very helpful to the students. I'm once again wishing him that his website can reach to several people.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for your lovely words.
Thank you, sir. As I was told by Mr. Venkatesh, that this webinar is to motivate the students who are preparing for IT JEE. I mean, JEE mains first, and then, of course, after qualifying in that, students can write for JEE advanced also. But before that, the first stage is JEE mains. I will say like that only. The target has to be the highest one. The beginning is that JEE mains. And students are going to write this exam on 20th onwards, 21st onwards. That's the first slot. Um, my my plan to the students, as the time is very near to the exam, um, without wasting much of your time, let me say a few words. What should be your strategy in the exam? In fact, I said it. I will put it in this way. There are three stages. First stage, before the exam, this 1 week or 10 days or so, how to prepare. And the second stage is during the exam, how you have to act. And the third one is after the exam, what. These are the three stages which students are nowadays confusing. Let me give some clarity, or let me suggest you before exam, like in these days, the first thing is that regarding physics, I will say, you please just go through all the formula once, because when you are thorough with the formulas, you can answer the questions in a less time, because the time management is very important. So in order to answer the questions in a less time, you must be aware of the relevant formulas. At this time, no, don't hesitate. Just for by heart the formulas, you know all of them because you have studied all these 2 years. But one quick reference give definitely an edge while answering the examination paper. That's the first thing. Second thing is, don't try to learn the new things. You just revise whatever the things you have learned already, whatever things you have practiced already. That is the second thing. And of course, one more important thing is that you just practice the old papers. We have lot of papers of previous slots, and also in your respective colleges, you might have written some of the exams. Those questions you revise once again, because in any exam, usually the examiner will try to twist the questions. So if you go through those twisted questions, you will be getting some comfortability while answering that. Okay, that is one important suggestion in my view. That is the best thing you have to do. You just do the older papers as well as the previous papers. I mean to say that since you used to write all those exams in your colleges, weekly exams, monthly exams like that, and all those questions papers, I'm sure you might have collected them. You just go through them. That will give you a lot of confidence. That thing you do before the exam. And during the exam, yeah, of course, don't get panic. Cool, be cool. Read the every question. And my suggestion is that first thing is time management. You have to manage the time properly. In that 3 hours, you have to answer all the 75 questions. Of course, this time you are having 5 questions choice. And you better plan like this. Usually, I suggest to the students in this way: allocate 45 minutes for each subject, maths 45, physics 45, chemistry 45, and the remaining 45. See, while you are reading the questions, you just try to solve in this way. If you got the idea of that question immediately, then you write and solve it. After reading that question, if you didn't get any idea, or you may get it idea, you may have some confusion, just skip that question, don't worry, because there are other questions also which you may answer. In hanging in that question, you might have lose some time. So better skip that question and go to the other next questions. In the next questions, who knows? Definitely, you may get some of the questions known to you. It's if you don't do that, after coming out of the exam, you will feel a lot. Understand? So what my suggestion is, please answer. Please try to go through all the questions. Don't come out of the exam without reading few questions. Don't come out of the exam leaving some of the questions without even reading them. Several students are doing the same thing after coming out of the exam. They are saying that, sir, this question I know, but because of lack of time, I couldn't answer it. That is a very big complaint. Usually students will do that because of in the anxiety
So in the power cut to program, sir. So outside the weather is not good. So I think SAR has some problem or cut issues. Okay. Uh, Let us what call it as continue this webinar. Since I'm as a physics teacher, I can share some of the important points before the exam. As sir was mentioning, you need to yeah. Ashrit and Sarat, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Ashrit, do you have any questions to ask? Do you have anything to ask? Yeah, sir will join in 2 minutes. He will up his power is actually back. Do you have any questions, Ashrit, regarding your preparation?
Yes, sir. What is the best plan to tackle problems when they seem lengthy but are actually not?
Can you repeat the question again?
What is the best way to tackle the problems when they seem lengthy but are actually not so?
Oh, that did happen most of the time. So, especially in physics, right? The length of the physics problem doesn't mean that is a difficult problem, right? Even sometimes a single line, problems also very difficult. So what I suggest is, see, whenever you want to tackle problems in physics, the first thing is, but again, you attempt these lengthy questions or which you don't have a confidence only in at the end of the exam. Okay. When we have attempt this type of questions, as I said, number of times, 45 minutes, you need to allot time to each subject. And in every subject, there are certain questions which you can answer instantly. Okay, do that for every subject. Then again, when you come back, right? So then read those lengthy questions because now you have a time. Now what happens is whenever a problem is given, so identify what are the parameters given. Always problems can be solved easily when you keep the data on the paper. Last time in the last webinar, this is the one suggestion given by this Narasimhan, who is the topper in JEE exam. Always use this space. There is a plenty of papers available, right? So just keep the data on the paper. Then try to relate the data, what formula I can solve this problem. Okay, especially when you look at the circuits in electricity, they seems to be very lengthy the moment you see them, right? But actually they are not. They are very simple circuits. Okay, Raghu sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you can continue, sir. Thank you so much.
Yeah, we had a power loss.
Yeah, yes.
Power interruption is there.
Yes, sir. Again, I'll make you co-host, sir. Now you can just continue. Thank you so much for joining.
So, am I audible, sir? Like, should
yes,
I?
Sir, you are audible. Fine. Everything is fine, sir.
Okay. So, sorry for that interruption. As I'm suggesting you to attempt all the questions, attempt in the sense you go through all the questions. Whatever the question you got idea, attempt it. Otherwise, you skip and go to the next question. Because you have to read all the 30 questions. You have to read all the 30 questions. Out of 30 questions, you should answer the 25 questions. Please don't come out of the examination all leaving some of the questions. That is the second thing. And after the exam, there is always the second chance. That is, of course, you have the second attempt for the mains exam. And even if you have done very well, even if you are feeling that you have done extremely well in the first exam, there is always a second chance. You can improve at least a little. See, in the percentiles, if 0.001 increases also makes a lot of difference. So don't don't be comfortable after writing the first exam, because even if you feel that you have written it extremely well also, please try the second exam also, because you have the big exam is later on, that is the IT advanced exam. You prepare for that until you finish that exam. Continuously you be in touch with the exam, because this is the student psychology. Once if the examination is over, if they have done well, okay. Even if sometimes what the students are thinking, that if they are unable to do that the first exam, they are in a feeling that they will do the second time also like that. It's not like that. You can do better always. So even if you have done very well also, I suggest you to attempt the second attempt also, like the second one, which is going to be conducted in the month of the July. That is also very important to you, because a little increase in the percentile also makes a lot of difference. This is what the strategy for the students who are attempting the mains exam. So I have just gave some tips how to prepare before exam, or during the exam, and after the exam. And coming to the, as I was told by Mr. Venkatesh, he asked me to discuss a couple of things where students usually might commit some mistakes because of confusion or because of lack of clarity. I would like to touch some of the things, some of the concepts where usually students might commit some mistakes. You please take it as a suggestion only. Now you can see the things what I'm going to touch, and if you have any doubts also you can interact with me on that. Um, Regarding some of the things like in you have the students, like we have first year concepts and we have second year concepts. In the first year concepts, which concepts are important, where you usually find some confusion. Just I want to avoid that confusion only at this stage, and how to think like that. I would like to take up some of the things. In the first year, as everyone knows, the important things as well as the things which are helpful in getting good score are of course related to heat and thermodynamics topics and mechanical properties of fluids and mechanical properties of solids, I mean elasticity, and of course fluids. And in the first year, definitely we are if you see the past question papers, almost 8 out of 10 papers contains one question from the errors, mostly either from screw gauge or from Vernier calipers. And in Vernier calipers, I'll start from that, from that errors. See, in the mains examination pattern, the questions are 20% from the practical based questions. Practical based questions, 20%, like you get questions from electricity, like practical related potentiometer, Wheatstone bridge, meter bridge, and in elasticity, determination of Young's modulus, in gravitation, time acceleration due to gravity using simple pendulum, whereas in mirrors, in ray optics, prism related questions and lens related questions. These are all comes under practical related questions, which you have done in theory based questions also, but they comes under the practical based questions. Let us start with Vernier calipers. Thing in the Vernier calipers, everyone knows how to attempt if there is no zero error in the Vernier calipers, and students usually confuse when there is a zero error in the Vernier calipers, how to answer them. Okay, I would like to discuss how to think, how to consider when you have a Vernier calipers with zero error. Okay, and you know this is the main scale, for example, and this is the Vernier scale. See, when nothing is put below the jaws of the lower jaws of the Vernier calipers, if this is the zero of main scale, and if this is the zero of Vernier scale, there is no zero error. There is no zero error. Suppose if the zero of Vernier scale is to the right of the main scale, this is the main scale. Main scale. This is the Vernier scale. If the zero of the Vernier is to the right of the zero of the main scale, it means that it is as if something is between the jaws, but there is nothing. But because of some bending or something, this error will creep in the measurement. So what to do? We have to avoid this error. This error is actually positive error, as if some reading is extra you're getting. So you have to subtract. The correction is a subtract. The procedure is, of course, error calculation method is, of course, it is main scale reading is anyhow 0 plus Vernier coinciding division. As you all aware of this thing, suppose one of the divisions on the Vernier scale coincides with the main scale division. Suppose, yes. Suppose this fourth division is coinciding with main scale. That one into least count will give you zero error. Okay, now zero error is a positive error and the correction is negative. This is also aware of, most of the students are aware of these things. Usually students get confused, and a couple of times in exams based on this idea only questions were came. Suppose if this is the main scale 0, if the Vernier scale 0 is to the left of the 0 of the main scale, if it is like this, if this is the situation, in this case error is negative, in this case error is negative and correction is positive. How to find error? Listen, here a method is there. Anyhow, there is a coinciding division. Suppose if this division, say this one is the 6th division, is coinciding with one of the divisions on the main scale, then the Vernier coinciding division is not this 6th. You shouldn't take 6. You have to count it from the end. If it is 10 divisions you have, and 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. So this is the 4. 4 is the Vernier scale reading. So now it is 0 plus main scale reading plus 4 into least count. This is what the least count in this case. Where students usually commit this mistake, you have to count from the end when this type of error is given in the question. Okay, I hope it is clear to you. This is one point where I would like to discuss to the students. So let us go to another thing. See, there are a lot of things, but at this point of time, I want to stress those concepts where usually students commit mistake because of lack of clarity. Okay, so here, see this case once. What is this? If the 0 of the Vernier scale and main scale are not coinciding, then there is a 0 error. If the 0 of the Vernier scale is to the left of the main scale, then if one of the divisions is coinciding with the main scale, we know that, but you shouldn't take that number directly. You should count it from the end and take it here. Then only you will get the least count. And every time after getting this least count, here the error is negative and correction is positive. You have to add this thing to the reading. I hope it is clear to you. So I'm going to another thing in the first year concepts. See what I find several times with students while applying Bernoulli's law, Bernoulli's theorem. While applying Bernoulli's theorem, if one liquid is there, and in order to find the velocity of efflux, students are very easily solving that question. But if it is given that two immiscible liquids are like this, one liquid of density ρ1 is settled at the bottom of the container, and which is lighter settled at the top. Obviously, density of lower liquid is greater than density of upper liquid. First, suppose if there is a orifice, a small hole, whose cross section is very small compared to the cross section of the beaker. So if you have made this assumption, the velocity of efflux inside the beaker can be, because as you know, velocity is inversely proportional to area of cross section. So if you made this assumption, you can assume that, of course, it should be given in the question. Otherwise, you can't make that assumption. The orifice cross section is very small compared to the area of cross section of beaker. Then you can assume that velocity of liquid inside the container is almost 0. Velocity of the liquid inside the container is 0. Based on that idea, you better assume that from that interface of two liquids, this is at y distance. Assume this is of depth h1, and or else simply both are having same depth. This is of depth h. This layer is also of depth h, and we have to find the efflux velocity. You better apply considering 2 points. One just inside the orifice. Let us assume that point is 1. Second point is just outside the orifice. Let us name it as 2. And you apply Bernoulli's theorem at this point and at this point and see how to apply it. And assume that it is open to atmosphere. If it is not open to atmosphere, a lid is there, and over the lid some weight is there. You have to consider pressure exerted by that weight also. So these things you have to take care while solving the question. I am giving that it is open to air, so here the pressure is atmospheric pressure. And here at this, as you know, Bernoulli's theorem is like half rho v square plus rho plus pressure is equal to constant. You can apply the Bernoulli's theorem in this way. Suppose here the velocity of Flex, because just now I said inside the beaker you can treat velocity 0 because of this reason. So this term is 0. Rho GH term, see, you are taking this as the reference. The point 1 is on the reference. So height from the reference is 0. This is also 0. Here the pressure. Here the pressure is, as I said, it is open to air. We have atmospheric pressure plus this liquid pressure, which is H rho 2G. And this liquid pressure, and above this only, we have a depth of Y only. So it is Y rho 1G. Like this you consider. As I said, if you have a lid over it, a light lid, and on which if you have kept a load, if the load mass is M, and here that pressure is mg by A, cross-section area of the lid is A, and that is also transmitted to every point. That is nothing but, of course, Pascal's law. You have to include that also. I am just giving you the idea how to solve. You have to include that pressure also. That pressure created by that load, which is pressure created by the load, is force by area mg by A. These things will come in the left hand side, and the right hand side means when you apply Bernoulli theorem at this point, again this one half rho v square, but which liquid is coming? Rho 1 liquid or rho 2 liquid? Obviously the rho 1 liquid is coming. That liquid of density of rho 1 is coming out. You should take that one. Assume its velocity is v. And this point 2 is also at the same reference. This term, rho GH term, is again 0 here also. And here, as it is open to air, the pressure is just atmospheric pressure. And of course, on solving this equation, you can find the Flex velocity. I hope you get some clarity because of some additions I have made. A load is kept, and it is kept. I have taken 2 liquids. In such questions, how to approach? I've just given some idea. Students, if you have any doubts, feel free to ask your doubt. I would like to shift to another concept where students usually get confused and how to think in that aspect also. I'm just shifting to thermodynamics concepts. In thermodynamics, usually we come across with 2 concepts very frequently. One is graphs related, indicator diagrams related. Based on that, it can be asked what is the amount of heat exchanged or work done or change in internal energy based on graphs very frequently. Sure question. And another thing is that, very frequently, that is also we are getting repeatedly, that is based on heat engines. Okay. Everyone know how to solve heat engine questions if one heat engine is given. As you are aware of that, efficiency of the heat engine is 1 minus that sink temperature by source temperature. You can use this. But if you are given 2 heat engines, how to approach? Couple of times questions like that are given. If 2 heat engines are coupled in series, you know, suppose a heat engine is there, it extracts heat from a hot source, which is at a temperature, say T1, and that heat engine extracts engine 1, let it be, extracts some Q1 heat, and it is rejecting some Q2 heat to a sink. Let us assume that sink is at a temperature, say T prime. This is at, and now another heat engine is taking heat from this sink because this temperature may be higher for that. So it is taking heat from that sink, and that heat is taken by the second heat engine, let it be E2, and that is again rejecting heat to the cold sink. That cold sink is at a temperature T2. So T1 is hot source, and this is the sink to this heat engine, whereas this is the same as the source for the second heat engine. This one is the source for the first heat engine. This one is the sink for the first heat engine. This one is only the source for the second heat engine. And this is only how sink to the second heat engine. In this case, what is the temperature of this sink, like intermediate sink, which is acting as a sink for the first heat engine and source for the second heat engine? What is the temperature of this? Usually this question is you're getting in two ways. If the efficiency of the two heat engines are equal, you can very easily use this formula. Efficiency of this heat engine is 1 minus, it is of course sink temperature is T prime and source temperature is T1. And efficiency of this heat engine is again the same formula you can use, 1 minus sink temperature. Here sink for this heat engine, sink is T2, cold reservoir, sink is also cold reservoir, and this one is the hot source for that heat engine. So if you equate these two, you will get T prime by T1 is equal to T2 by T prime. Solving, of course, T prime is root over T1 T2. This is one way of asking the question. The same heat engine, two heat engines are coupled in series. Here you may get another question. Suppose the work output by this heat engine may be equal to work output by this heat engine also. In that case, how to find the temperature of the intermediate sink as well as source. Let us try to find in that question how to solve that question. Here, if you see, what I'm saying is work output by this heat engine and work output of the second heat engine are equal, which are actually coupled. This is of course called as a series of heat engines. According to the question, suppose if the work done are same, mechanical work output of first heat engine and second heat engines are equal, it is work, as you know, the efficiency is equal to 1 minus, you have this formula here, this efficiency is nothing but work done by heat given or heat taken from the source. This is what efficiency formula. Okay, so I use the same here also. So work done is nothing but Q, isn't it? Heat given times into efficiency of that particular heat engine. Work done is equal to, because if you take the cross, see, this can be written as W by Q1 is equal to 1 minus T2 by T1. Isn't it? This work done can be Q1 times 1 minus T2 by T1. Like that I will use. For this first heat engine, the heat taken is Q1 and it is 1 minus sink temperature. For this it is the sink, which is T dash, and the source is T1 is equal to, and see, Q2 is rejecting by this, and this is taking the same heat Q2, and because it is a temperature T dash, it is taking same heat Q2, of course rejecting some Q3 to the cold sink. But what is the heat taken? That is Q2 only into 1 minus, for this heat engine, sink is T2, sink temperature is T2, and source temperature is T prime. Okay, so you can write like this, and of course this Q1, as you know that Q1 by Q2 is equal to T1 by T2. Substituting Q1 by Q2 as T1 by T2, if you simplify it, you will get the T dash value, and of course in this case it will be T1 plus T2 by 2. So these two models we got earlier in earlier exams also. These models can be repeated with a little bit modifications, but how to approach, I've told you. I hope it is clear to you. Let us go to the another model of questions in thermodynamics. Usually you're getting in exams. That is based on polytropic process. Polytropic process, immediately you remember that whenever a polytropic process is given, the pressure and volume should be in this way. PV power X is equal to constant. See, it is very similar to adiabatic process. If you have PV power gamma equal to constant, whatever the relations you have here, same relations are applicable here. Only thing, this X value is not a gamma. If this X value is equivalent to gamma value, then that is adiabatic process. A polytropic process is nothing but you can have several types of processes, which depends on the X. Obviously, if X is equal to 1, it's an isothermal process. Isn't it? PV equal to constant is a isothermal process. If X is equal to gamma, PV power gamma is constant, is an adiabatic process, like that only. Usually we say like this in order to avoid confusion to the students. We say don't approach in this way if x is not equal to 1 and x is equal to not equal to gamma, then only you follow this procedure. Otherwise, no need to follow this. We usually say like this just to reduce confusion, but in this case also it's applicable. But only thing is that if x is equal to 1, this process becomes isothermal process. If x is equal to gamma, this process becomes adiabatic process. That is the difference. Okay. Anyhow, if you remember PV relation in adiabatic process, PV power gamma equal to constant. And in polytropic process, you just put PV power x is equal to constant. That's all. I think you know TV power gamma minus 1 equal to constant in adiabatic process, relation between temperature and volume. Here also same. Simply TV power x minus 1 equal to constant. And relation between temperature and pressure, it is Tp power 1 minus gamma by gamma equal to constant. And here also TV power, of course, 1 minus x by x is equal to constant. Same. No need of any confusion. Suppose if you are given, and of course in a polytropic process, I think you might have remembered the specific heat of the given gas is of course Cv plus R by 1 minus x. This is that polytropic constant x. Suppose in any question, if it is given that T V power minus 3 is equal to constant, then what is the specific heat of that process if it is a diatomic gases? If it is a diatomic gas, very simple. I already told you this. This minus 3 is nothing but x minus 1 equal to minus 3, and obviously x is equal to minus 2. Put x equal to minus 2. As I said, it's a diatomic gas. In case of diatomic gas, Cv value is 5 times R over 2 plus R over 1. This is negative 2. It is plus 2. It is 5R by 2 plus R by 3. Okay. So solving this, of course, you'll get the answer. I hope I have avoided your confusion. If at all a polytropic process in terms of T and V, I'm sorry, this is T and pressure. This is not T and V, this is T and pressure. Okay. So, and also sometimes especially in thermodynamics, there are questions related to indicator diagrams like graphs. No, you don't get always that PV diagram graphs. You may get VT graphs, you may get PT graphs. In that type of, usually in exams, these type of questions you will get, because the examiner wants to twist the questions. So how do you think, if at all any questions given with VT graphs and PT graphs? And as a matter of fact, while calculation efficiency of a cyclic process, if you are given PV graph, assume this is what your PV graph. Your PV graph is somewhat, say for simplicity, this is how the process had happened. This is anyhow PV graph only. Assume this one is some P1, this one is some P2, this one is some B1, this one is some B2. So it's a polytropic process. It's a cyclic process. The cycle being ABCDA. In this process, if you want to calculate work done, okay, the area enclosed by the closed loop. Everyone knows that. If you want to calculate total heat exchange in the entire cycle, it's again this one, because in the entire cycle, change in internal energy, entire cycle it is 0. Because the system started from A and again reaches to A, means its initial and final states are A only. So the change in internal energy is 0, because the internal energy depends on the state. It's a state function. Whereas work done is a path function. In what process it is undergoing, based on that work done can be calculated. Okay. Now, In this process, if you try to solve like efficiency, that efficiency is nothing but work done by heat given. Heat given in the sense positive amount of heat. You calculate heat exchanges in every stage. What are the heat givens are positive? That is only this thing. You may get some heat exchanges or negative in that process. For example, C to D, it is negative. D to E, it is, A also it is negative. No need to consider heat exchanged. Actually, heat exchanged in the entire cycle is heat exchange in the first stage, that is A to B, heat exchange in the second stage, that is B to C, as well as in the C to third stage, as well as in the last step. In all these steps, if any of the heats are negative you got, you just omit them. Don't take those things. Suppose if these two are positive and these two are negative, no need to take these two heats in this term. In this term, only the positive amounts of heat only you have to take. And of course, the work done by positive amount of heat is the efficiency. And in that way, efficiency should be calculated if it is a PT graph. Yeah. Let me tell you, if it is a VT graph, like volume and temperature graph, taking volume on y-axis and absolute temperature on x-axis. Say, for example, you got the graph in this way. Okay, it's a cyclic process. Any graph, whether it is PT, VT, or PV graph, if it is a cyclic process, you can take delta U in the entire cycle equal to 0, undoubtedly. Okay, suppose here this process is undergoing like this, in this way. Assume this is T1 and this is T2, and this volume is V1 and this volume is some V2. If you want to calculate work done in the entire cyclic process, here don't confuse to I don't think that area under the closed loop is the work done. No, it's not correct. Area under the closed loop is work done only in PV graph. So here area under the closed loop is not the total work done. You have to calculate work done from A to B. Obviously, work done from A to B, if you see, it's an isobaric process, volume is constant, it is 0. And work done from B to C, if you see that it is a isothermal process, B to C, and everyone is aware of isothermal process, nRT, here the temperature is T2, ln of final volume by initial volume, V2 over V1. And in the last process, that is C to A, assume that the graph is like this line is passing through origin. In that case, pressure is constant, so it's an isobaric process. In the isobaric process, the work done is, if you remember, it is nR T1 minus T2 by gamma minus 1. Okay, so T1 minus T2 by gamma minus 1. Actually, T1 is initial temperature and for T2 is final temperature. Here, C2A it is going, the initial temperature being T2 and final temperature is T1. So I should take, it should be T2 minus T1.
Raghu sir.
Yes, sir.
So I think it is isobaric, kada?
Yeah, isobaric.
So,
Yeah, isobaric, pressure is constant.
So I think this work done is for adiabatic, right?
I'm sorry. Thank you for reminding.
I just reminded.
Thank you.
NRT.
I made it mistake. I'm sorry.
Yes.
In an isobaric process, the work done from C to A is simply pressure times V2 minus V1. Final volume. Here the final volume is V1 and initial volume is V2. And product. And in this graph, we don't have the pressure. P times V1 is nRT1. And this one is nRT2. Taking like this, you can solve this one, right? So all the work done we have calculated. If you want the efficiency, total work done divided by heat given. Now again you have to calculate heat given from A to B. Heat given from A to B is simply delta Q. A to B is nothing but delta U A to B plus W A to B. So delta QA to B is, I can write very easily, N CV T2 minus T1, but work done A to B is 0. You have this one, it's positive, obviously positive, because T2 is more than T1. This is a positive heat event. In B to C, temperature is constant. If I write delta Q from B to C, delta U B to C plus W B to C. W B to C is an isothermal process. We have this term. And delta U B to C, see, this is 0 because it's an isothermal process. So 0 plus WBC, you have it already. And of course, delta Q C to A is again delta U C to A plus W C to A. And delta U C to A is, of course, you can use always whatever the process, change in internal energy, N times, mole number of mole times, specific heat at constant volume times temperature difference. You have entire data and you can use that. And the work done is already you have. So summing, if you see this term is also negative. If it is negative, you can avoid it. If it is positive, you should take it. Here, of course, volume is decreasing. And obviously this work done. And we have this is an isobaric process. In this case, this is a positive one only. You can check it out. If it is positive, then add all the positive heats and efficiency is calculated. Total work done in the entire cycle and total positive heat in the entire cycle. This is the way. If you want the percentage efficiency, just multiply with 100. This is how you can attempt some of the questions. Yes. Venkatesh sir.
Sir, go ahead.
Yeah, okay. I'm clearing it. Let me discuss a couple of concepts in second year related topics. Let us start with sound waves. Sound waves. In sound waves, I would like to discuss this one regarding Doppler effect. In Doppler effect, change in wavelength, like apparent change in wavelength calculation, how to do it. See, when an observer is stationary here, observer velocity is 0 and a source is approaching towards the observer. You know the waves are compressed ahead of the observer and waves are expanded behind the source actually. Ahead of the source, waves are compressed, and behind the source, if I have another observer, say B, who is also stationary, and this observer A, who is also stationary, source is heading towards the observer A and receding from observer B. Obviously, the waves are compressed ahead of the source and expanded behind the source. And in this case, the cause of Doppler effect is due to this compression as well as expansion of the waves. For this observer, apparent frequency is more because wavelength is decreased. And I think you are aware of that apparent frequency for this observer A who is receiving that wave. Let it be actual frequency some F0 times. Say sound velocity is V and it is V over V minus velocity of the source. But I modify this frequency as wavelengths and let us assume this one is V by, because velocity of sound won't change, V by lambda prime, and this is also V by lambda, V over V minus Vs. V gets cancelled, lambda prime is equal to lambda times V minus Vs over V. This is what the apparent wavelength for this observer for A. Obviously, the apparent wavelength received by the observer B is simply take plus here because it is increasing lambda into V plus V source over V. This is how, okay, you are clear, even this also. But what is the apparent wavelength when this observer is approaching? Source is approaching, source and observer are approaching. Assume that source and observer are approaching in this way. And in this case, what is the apparent wavelength? See, everyone knows in this case, the apparent frequency received, like source and observer are approaching, apparent frequency F prime is F times V plus V naught by V minus Vs. Everyone knows this. But now the apparent frequency, it is in fact this thing only. Here, the apparent frequency is definitely more than the actual frequency. The reasons are two. One reason is that the waves are compressed. Another reason is that this observer is approaching the source. So if he stands here, he will receive certain number of waves per second, but he is coming towards the source. Definitely, he receives more number of waves per second. So that is the reason apparent frequency increasing. So the cause of increase of apparent frequency when the source and observer are approaching are two reasons. One is that waves are getting compressed, and another reason is the observer is in motion. But apparent wavelength of the sound waves in this case is still this thing, because waves are getting compressed because of the motion of the source, not because of the observer's motion. It is because of the motion of the source. Either the waves are compressed or expanded. It is only because of the motion of the source. So in this case, even though the apparent frequency is like this, but in this case, the apparent frequency, while both are moving, the apparent wavelength is lambda times V minus, still it is V minus Vs by V. The way we have calculated this apparent wavelength when the observer was stationary while the source is coming towards him. Okay, the same answer. Here also, you students may confuse. Using this formula, they will modify these frequencies into wavelengths and they may put it as the answer. No, that's not the answer. This one is the answer. This point I would like to discuss, so it is finished. And another point also I would like to discuss in waves, that is during reflection of sound waves. See, if there is a wall is a rigid boundary. We feel like that. A wall is a rigid boundary for waves. But actually for sound waves, the wall is not a rigid boundary. If a sound wave strikes here, usually sound waves in air or longitudinal waves. If a longitudinal wave strikes this wall is not a rigid wall. I mean, of course, rigid wall, but for the sound so for the sound waves, this boundary, like this medium, is not a denser medium. You may think that air is rarer medium and this wall, which is made of solid, is a denser medium. No, with respect to sound waves, this wall is a rarer medium. Air is a denser medium, because from the point of view of wave motion, waves, a medium is rarer if the speed of the wave is more in that medium, and it is said to be denser if the speed of the wave is less in that medium. Clear? So when compared to gases and solids, sound waves are having more speed in solids. That is, in this wall they have more speed, in this air they have less speed. So this solid is a rarer medium for the wall, for the sound waves. This wall is a rarer medium for the sound waves, whereas this air is a denser medium. So when a wave is striking from denser medium to rarer medium, it reflects at same phase. I mean to say, if a compression is striking, it reflects as compression only. If a rarefraction is striking, it reflects as a rarefraction only. But in case of transverse waves in string, if there is a rigid wall, if a crust strikes here, you will easily say that a trough will reflect. Here the phase reversal is taking place, because here this boundary is a rigid boundary, whereas here it's not like that. Or else let us take a thin wire and a thick wire. You assume both are connected in series, and thin wire is a rarer medium and thick wire is a denser medium. And when wave is coming from rarer medium, this boundary acts as a rigid boundary. So if a crust is striking, what reflects, rigid bound, it's acting like a rigid boundary, so a trough will reflect here. Suppose if the wave is coming from this direction, suppose if the wave is coming from denser medium, and now this and this is rarer medium, this boundary acts as a free boundary. In this case, what reflects, a crust only reflects, because this boundary now acting like a free boundary. What I said here. Here, this boundary is not a free boundary for the sound waves. For sound waves, this boundary acts like a free boundary, not like a rigid boundary. I mean to say that. because air is denser medium for air and wall is a rarer medium for air. When a wave is coming from denser to rarer, the boundary acts as a free boundary, means whatever the phase with which the air strikes, sound wave strikes here, it reflects with same phase. I mean to say, if a compression strikes here, it reflects as compression only. If a ray refraction strikes here, it reflects as a ray refraction only. So here also, there is a chance that students can commit some mistakes. Yes, sir. Venkatesh,
Sir.
yeah.
Go ahead.
Can I continue or can I conclude?
Yeah, you can take another 5 minutes, no problem.
Yeah, okay. Couple of things also, let me tell you. That is, of course, based on sign conventions. While doing numericals in ray optics, you are all aware of that sign convention. You can easily apply. But where usually students find difficulty is in case of multiple refractions and multiple reflections. I mean to say, in case of combinations of lenses and mirrors. Say, for example, we got a lens here. We got a convex mirror here. When you are solving this question, say a point object is here at some distance. As you know, light rays are coming in this way, so this direction will take positive, or else light rays are coming in that way. The sign convention what we prefer is that modern sign convention. We measure all the distance from the center of the lens, optic center of the lens. Distance is measured along the light ray are positive, opposite to the light ray or negative. So here, this, when you are applying to find the position of the image formed by this lens, we simply take the object distance negative. The image distance, you will get it in the answer, don't worry. Suppose if these light rays are converging on this mirror, before they converged at any point, if in the absence of this mirror, these would have converged somewhere there. In fact, this I1 is the image formed by this lens F1 in the absence of this mirror of focal length F2. But if it is not there, these would have gone and converged here. But if this mirror is there, they will definitely reflect. They will reflect and they will come in this way. And when they reflect, how to apply sign convention? Students are usually confused here because already for this lens, they have applied some sign convention and solved it. But when you come to this, again, you consider for that mirror, what is the incident light ray direction and reflected light ray direction? Okay. And all distances now measured from the pole of the mirror. See here, the object is this thing. Of course, it's a virtual object. And light rays are coming in this way. You have to measure the object distance from this pole P2. This one is say P1. So from here to here, because this is the object, though it's a virtual object, you have to take this and this one was the object distance. As for this mirror, this is the incident direction because light rays are incidenting in this way. This is positive, object distance is positive. And if you got image distance negative, it will be like this. Here the image, this one is the second image. The process won't stop there. Now what happens? This light ray is extending and again forming, say converging somewhere here. The final image is somewhere here, which is I3. And again, while solving for this lens, here usually students have confusion because already for this lens, if distances are measured opposite to the light, positive, and you have applied properly, okay. But now forget about this thing. Now light rays incidenting in this way, you consider all the distance are measured from the pole. Now object distance is negative. This is negative. Earlier, when you are solving for this light ray, if the light ray is going in this way, that distance is positive. But now, when the light ray is coming from this side, this distance you have to take negative. This is negative. And the image is formed here. And of course, the sign of the V in the answer will tell you what is the image, whether it's real or virtual, based on the sign what you got for this V. Okay. In this case, for example, if you got what you have to take U has to be negative. Suppose if this is a 10 centimeters and this focal length is some 30 centimeters, final image. Assume that this is given as 10 centimeters. 1 by f1 is equal to 1 over v1 minus 1 over u1. This is what the formula you're going to use. 1 by f1, it's anyhow a convex lens. We take positive. v1 is unknown. Don't put any symbol for unknown. The answer will tell you. And u1 is 10, that is negative. That is negative because now the distance are measured from this pole. This is the incident direction for this lens now. Earlier, this is the incident direction for the same lens. But now this is the incident direction for this lens. So take it as negative. So it is 1 by 10. Of course, 1 by v1 is equal to 1 by 30 times 1 by 10. Of course, this is negative. This is negative. In that case, this light ray diagram will be in this way. It may be somewhat like this. And if you extend it, it would have formed the image somewhere here. Some I3 is here. You have to measure this distance. So this is the final image position. Okay. So I hope I have given some clarity for the sign convention. In case of multiple reflections and multiple refractions, how to apply sign convention. This is the way. See, in combination of lenses, it is very easy. You consider only this lens is there initially. Forget about this lens and find out the position of the image. And after knowing the position of the image, whether that is forming before the mirror or after the mirror, you check based on the distances given. If it is before the mirror and that point is acting as anyhow, the image formed by the first optical system is the object for the second optical system. And it forms an image I2. And this image formed by the second optical system is the object for the third optical system. Or if it is coming back also for this optical system, that is only the object. You just carry with the light ray, nothing else. Okay, considering object distance, finding the image distance. If it is a mirror lens, use this formula. If it is a mirror, we use this formula 1 by u plus 1 by v and apply the proper sign convention. Okay, even in case of multiple reflections also. So with this note, I would like to conclude this. So Venkatesh sir.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
Properly to the students.
Yes, yes.
Thank
Sir,
you.
please stop sharing.
Yes, yes.
Excellent, sir. Before we go to, I think Vinay sir is also there. Vinay Kumar sir, good evening.
Sir, Vinay sir, are you there? Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Sir,
Yes, sir.
come to you, sir. We'll have a discussion
video?
with you also. So, where is Sai Prasad sir? I thought he'll join today. Samsung, this is Sai Prasad sir.
Is he there?
I think last time he joined as a Samsung only.
Okay.
Sai Prasad garu? Very shy to talk on online. Okay. Right, sir. Before.
Actually, I want to thank you, sir. This is the first time I ever went on live. Though the students joined or very little, but
No, sir. I said
you have increased my confidence.
most of the students are watching live, sir. You'll be really amazed how many people are watching live in YouTube.
Okay,
That's what I said, right? So every time more
So now
than
you have
100
cut it, right? Now you have cut it. Still you
Yes,
are.
sir, it is in live, YouTube live, Facebook live going on.
Okay.
It is definitely, sir. You made I have some questions to ask you, right? And
Yep.
even students also there, they also can ask the questions, right? Okay. So before that, let me. Today we are actually, sir. Please stop. I think make me host, sir.
Okay. I need to make you host, right?
No, just you go there to my name.
Okay.
You'll find 3 dots.
Yeah. We used to do it very frequently earlier, but now we have stopped it, right?
Okay. Yes, sir. In your, it's my great honor. In this webinar, we are introducing a very new feature, sir, for the first time, and this is going to help all the students and parents, especially the students and all this. Then we'll continue that for another 5 minutes, and then we'll find out. I think you can see the website, sir. Thank you so much. Sir, Ram sir, can you see the website?
Yes, sir. I'm
Right, sir. So this is the new feature we are introducing in this webinar, sir. And now we have a like button for every article. So if the students like the article, they can just like it, or they can share the articles to whomever they want. So
yes.
basically, this is, as I said, completely personalization. Suppose I have a profile, sir. Suppose, see, here I've joined as 12th class. For example, if I join as 8th class, suppose what I see in the website. Now I register as an 8th class student. Suppose I go to EdNews. See, the moment I joined as 8th class, I can see 8, 9, articles, 10th articles, 11th and 12th articles, along with personal skills. Suppose, sir, if you just change the profile. Now I am 10th class student, I'm not an 8th class student. Now I join as a 10th class student. What happens? Because when they register according to the class. Now what happens? See, the moment they register as a 10th class student, yeah, I think I didn't refresh it. So just a minute. Yeah, I have to update. So once we update as a 10th class student, I think there's some issue. So actually, the moment you select a 10th class, I think we get only 8th, 9th should not be there. Yeah, since we have some issues, we'll rectify them. For example, now I click 11th and 12th. So what are the courses that we have? In 11th, 12th, we have science, then we have commerce, then we have arts. Very soon, we are going to keep those also. Now, as of today, we have only science. Suppose if I click on science, you get MPC, BIPC. Today, we have only MPC. We are going to have this BIPC also very soon. Now, again, you can choose MPC if you are MPC student. So in MPC, we have these three important filters: career, academics, careers, and engineering. For example, if you just click the academics, once you click the academics, they see only the academics related to 11th and 12th class. That means 12th class physics, 12th class chemistry. So this list go on will increase in coming days. And suppose in MPC, I don't want to, I want to see engineering. So for example, if you look at engineering, so again, you'll find branches of engineering, technologies, entrance exams, colleges, and career options. For example, I want to know branches of engineering. In that branches, we have core branches and test branches. So if I just click the core branches, these four are called core branches: chemical, civil, electrical, mechanical. Again, I want to know more about the chemical engineering. You find all the information related to only the chemical engineering. What are the top colleges in chemical engineering, best chemical engineering colleges, jobs, syllabus, subjects, books. It is only about the chemical engineering. Suppose I want to know more about what called as a electrical engineering now. I'll just go back and I'll just search the electrical and I'll find all the information about only electrical engineering. Suppose I have now I want to find out some information related to computer science. So if you want to know computer science, here the moment you just click the branches, you see here all the information related to the branches of engineering only. In engineering, as I said, if you look at every information related to engineering, okay. So here in engineering, yes. For example, if I take MPC, okay. So this is where you can learn some personal skills also if you want. There are all the information related to the personal skills also. So this is the new feature we have kept. And anyway, there is a search button everywhere. For example, if you want to know more about the computer science. You just come here and just put the word computer science. You find all the information just related to computer science. So this is everything information. But the advantage part of the filters is the moment you take a filter, the information will be in order, but in search, you may not get the results in order. So that is the main advantage of filters. So we have introduced this filter from today. So students, whoever have the doubts about any engineering branch, they simply can come and want to browse the information related to every branch of engineering. In our website, there are, even for example, if you look at, we have information related to 118 branches of engineering. For example, the moment you take the branches, you find all the branches in alphabetical order. Every branch of, there are 118 branches of engineering in this website, the information is available. Now, suppose I'm preparing for exams. I'm the first student. I'm just preparing for entrance exam, engineering entrance exam. So there are different types of engineering entrance exams. I want to only all India entrance exams. So the moment you click all India level, you get all the all India entrance exam like JEE mains, NATA, NEST exam, UPC, everything. Sir, I'm just preparing for state level exams. I want to prepare only for deemed universities. The moment you just click the deemed universities and you see all the information related to deemed university. So this is a new feature we have introduced from today. I request everyone, please make use of this and please share your feedback. Thank you so much. Raghu sir. Raghu garu. Vinay sir.
Sir.
Sir, two sir website. Did you see the website?
Sir.
Listen, sir. My opinion and the
is very good, sir. You developed it very well.
So will it be useful to the students, sir?
100%.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank
it is
you
the right time for the students to utilize your website.
Right, sir. Please encourage your students to register on Edforum, sir.
Okay, sir. Sure.
Yeah, Sarath.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I will see the website just now. I've been showing you, right? Can you share your feedback?
Yes, sir. So, like, it's a very helpful website, sir. Like, all the information is available at one place about the career and all the exams. So, I feel it's a very, very nice website.
So, please keep browsing, right? Suraj,
yes,
are you there, Suraj? Suraj, can you hear me? Okay. Sir, who is this Samsung?
Samsung.
Raghu sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah, one final word from you, sir. We want to hear from you. I think you have seen this search results, how they look, and will it be useful to students?
Yes, sir. Certainly. The website is very much useful to the students. But only thing, they should come to it.
Yes.
Yeah, you are with all your friends. We shall do that.
Okay.
I will definitely try to encourage you by the best.
Thank you so much, sir. Definitely, we need that teacher support, sir. And very soon, actually, sir, as I said, we are coming with a social platform. Once that is over, I'll come to you, sir. Definitely, your guidance will help the students, and we are going to have a percentage for every teacher. Raghu sir, really, I'm telling you from core of my heart, you did very good job, sir.
Thank you.
And definitely, as I said,
in fact, I am thankful to you because I was a little bit reluctant because it's going on live. I don't know how it goes.
No, sir, I know your strength. You are one of the nice faculty member I work with, and definitely, the time is not permitted. You can do so much thing. Definitely, we'll have, sir. Now it just started. We'll have your sessions now and then, and we'll keep what called as engaging them and helping the students and parents. Thank you so much for joining, sir. Suraj, you want to ask any question, Raghu sir, correct?
Yes, students, feel free to ask any question.
Yeah.
So,
yes.
If you have any questions, you can ask Raghu sir.
Yes, sir. Sir, regarding the JEE exam, like in the very last moments of the exam, we feel that we have left some topics. So, like, are there any topics that can be left if the time doesn't permit that have like less weightage in the exam?
At this juncture, you please left those topics which you have already left. Understand? Even if it is having some weightage also, please don't do that, because at this point of time, don't learn the new things. You please revise whatever the things you have already practiced. That is my suggestion. If it is 10 days before, I would say in a different way. Or if some of the things you have left, if you mention those names, I will suggest you which you have to prepare and which you have to still left. So at this point of time, it's better whatever you have left already, don't do that. Remaining things only you concentrate.
Sir, Vinay sir, you want to ask any question, Raghu sir?
Sir, I think he's in journey.
Oh, thank you. Okay, sir. Then let's wind up the show, sir. Thank you so much. You have given so much of your time. And this is all we have today. And definitely we'll meet with other very good webinar on this coming Sunday. Thank you so much, Raghu sir, once again. Thank you, sir.